Hello. So I thought I was already live, but I wasn't. So forgive me. Sorry. There's no great intro because I thought I played it, but I was. Anyways, that being said, I'll give it a few people to jump on, and then we're going to kind of get into it. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Bear with me. I have a sore throat. Life has been crazy the last few days. Hi, Nikki. How are you? Can you guys hear me? Because I have headphones on. I just want to make sure my sound is okay. Hi, Rose. How are you? I am going to have a few guests jump on with me. Okay, you can't hear me. So they will jump on as they can get on. If you saw the title to my show, it says Policing in America Today. So I want to kind of talk about that. We all know that there has been tons and tons regarding policing and what's going on in today's current atmosphere. Hi, Nay. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Georgetta. Hi, Ronell. Hi, Michelle. Going in and out a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm sorry. I don't know how to work this little gadget. Okay, it's up. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Hi, Kalenka. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Jill. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kayla. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Andy. What's up? What's up? Hello. Don't forget to like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. I am going to have a few guests on. They will jump on when they are available to jump on. That being said, let's get into it. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that sent me a message, that called me, that posted something on Facebook. Regards to my safety and my husband's safety, we both appreciate you. And I can speak I could speak on behalf of my husband. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate and value each and every one of you. Hi, Margie. How are you, hon? Hi, Deborah. Hi, Amy. So that being said, I want to say thank you. I cannot thank you guys enough for the prayers. I cannot thank you guys enough for the kind words, for the thoughts, for the support during these very trying times. I want to say on behalf of my husband and thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you and we are grateful. It is very reassuring in times like this that you have people supporting you. So that being said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I need to send a special shout out to Naz J. I don't think she's on right now, and I don't have the thing to show you, but Naz has been following me for a while. She does live here in Chicago. Yesterday, I had to work a 12-hour day because depending on what the verdict was, we thought there were going to be some protests, etc. So we were forced to stay over. She was supposed to drop something off to me. We have been trying to, we were going to try to meet up, and unfortunately I had to work. So she was able to meet me at a location that I was working at, and she actually handed me 2 gold. Oh, she is here. She is here. Hi, Naz. How are you? She's like, I'm here, girl. So she was able to meet me at a local Target. And she actually handed me 2 like goldish coins. They look like the size of a silver dollar, an original silver dollar. Anyways, on one side it is the archangel, and on the other side it is a police prayer. She had them anointed, etc., and handed that to me, and I thought that was so nice. Like, I want you guys to know that I don't expect anything from any of you other than seeing you in my comments and having conversations. Like, I don't do this expecting gifts. I don't do this with zero expectations at all. My hope and my prayer is that I can open minds so that we can have conversations, so that we can create a world where we all have a voice, not where anyone gets shut out, right? I truly believe in equality for all people. That St. Michael, yes, sorry. You guys know I have a chicken nugget brain. I have a really sore throat, you guys. I don't know what's going on with it. And I think I have like an ear infection. So I look a little bit yellowish. Your girl been going through it. But anyways, I needed to jump on for many reasons. I've been wanting to have this conversation for days. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it because, like I said, I worked 12 hours yesterday. I am feeling under the weather. I came home and took a nap yesterday. I came home and took a nap today. I am feeling like shiznit. But again, Naz, thank you and your wife so much for your love, for your support, for going out of your way to do that for myself and my husband. I was going to take a picture of it, but I literally put it in my vest pocket. So I will carry that with me while I'm on duty each and every day. But I will take a picture of it and I will post it on Facebook when I get a chance. I just have not had the chance. That being said, you deserve it. You don't have to ask. It came from the heart. That was very nice of her. That was very nice. And I was glad I was not only was it just such a kind, loving gesture. It's so nice to meet you guys, like face to face. You know what I mean? Like we can talk back and forth on here and you guys know who I am, but I don't know who you guys are. And I'm not one of those people, like I'm not afraid to meet people. I'm really not. And especially like those people that I've know had followed me from the beginning. Like I love you guys. I want you guys to know that what you see on camera right now is what you are going to meet in person. Actually, Naz, her wife, myself, and my husband, we plan on getting together and having like a barbecue or something. I love people. Like this is who I truly am. I'm not different in front of the camera as opposed to when not a camera. So if you guys live in Chicago and you want to meet up, let me know. Like I said, I'm not afraid of meeting new people, etc. And it was a pleasure to meet her. We should have took a picture. I didn't think of it at the time because, again, chicken nugget brain. But we should have taken a picture. But we'll have plenty of time. I know that I'm going to be seeing her more often. She's an awesome person, and I am very, very grateful. So I wanted to get that special shout out. It was amazing to meet you. Thank you. Hi, Patrice. How are you? You have always been the way you are as long as I can remember. And Margie and I went to grammar school, literally went to grammar school. We lived like a block away from one another. She lived on one street and I lived on the next street. And I used to walk, I remember walking to her house and picking her up in the morning. And then we would walk to school together. Like, do you remember that, Margie? Like I would go pick her up because she was on the block past me. So I'd go pick her up and then we'd go to her mom's house. Hi, Teresa. How are you, sweetheart? She does remember. Okay. I said the same thing about the picture. Yes, we should have. And I didn't think about it at the time, chicken nugget brain, but we're going to meet again. So that being said, policing in America, I want to get into it. Okay. I did a video last week. We talked about the Adam Toledo shooting. Okay. Again, if anyone has any comments, questions in regards to Adam Toledo, please post them in the comments and I'll be more than happy to address them. Other than that, like I said, if I don't see any questions in regards to Adam Toledo, I'm just skip over that because I did do a video on it last week. Don't forget to like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. If you are not following me on Just Us on YouTube, please give me a like and a subscribe on YouTube. I will be very, very grateful. Thank you. Anyways, so policing today. Following Adam Toledo, we have the shooting in Columbus, Ohio. Okay, that shooting happened yesterday, right around the time they were giving the Derek Chauvin, what do you call it? Verdict. That's what I wanted to say. So that being said, I posted some pictures on Facebook. Let's see if I can pull up my Facebook page. Hold, please. Bear with me a second. Adam Toledo was the 13-year-old. Kayla, yes, Adam Toledo was the 13-year-old that was shot and killed by Chicago police. All right, let's see if I can pull up my Facebook. Give me 1 second, you guys. It takes a minute. You guys already know. I am not that savvy with computers. And when it's just me by myself, I have to kind of toggle back and forth. So it gets a little bit, but here we go. Here we go. I got it. I got it. All right. Let me share my screen. Share screen. My Facebook page. I don't need audio. All right. So this is, I believe her name was. Let me get the spelling of her name because you're ready. People come free. Columbus. I'm spelling crazy. Columbus, Ohio. Shooting. I want to make sure that I say her name correct. Okay. Ma'Khia Bryant. Ma'Khia Bryant. So Ma'Khia Bryant is a 16-year-old female. This is Ma'Khia Bryant. Can you guys see this? Let me make sure you guys can see. Okay. Yeah, you can see. So, okay, this is Ma'Khia Bryant. Okay. Just so that you guys know, this is the person. She has a knife in her hand. Okay. Now, mind you, at this time, the police were already on scene. There was a gentleman seen prior in this video kicking a female in the head while the police were there. Okay. Here's a better image. This is image 1. What does she have in her hand? So it really, really does matter when you slow things down and see what's what. Okay. So these are the images I wanted to show you. Again, here's 1. Here's 2. Originally, the news said that she was 15 years old because they always try to pander to the younger age. A young girl, she's an honor roll student, according to her mother. I have honor roll student children, and I'm not bragging about my children. My children are very intelligent kids, and they are honor rolls on honor roll. My children do not play with knives or threaten to hurt someone with a knife. Suni here, she will jump on when she can. So that being said, I'm sure you guys have seen the videos over and over and over again. So therefore, I will not the video again. I want to talk about it a little bit. Oh, Suni's gone now. She was here and now she's gone. Her mother doesn't even have custody of her. You are correct. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. You guys have seen the video. If you guys want to see the video, post in the comments you want to see the video and then I will play it. Otherwise, I think most of you know. That being said, this girl is 16. She is not by any means a small girl. Not that it would matter. I want to make that very clear. Her size does not matter. Okay? Her size does not matter. Again, the job of a police officer is to protect and serve. Our number one priority is the sanctity of life. The sanctity of life. Just so that you guys understand that. The sanctity of life. That is our number one priority as a police officer, okay? Again, I'm going to share this video. Well, not a video. These are the photos. Here's the knife in her hand. What is she attempting to do with it? Was she going to tickle her with it? Was she going to cut off her hair? What was she going to do? I'm guessing that she was going to stab her. The police are on scene. So does this woman in the pink's life not matter? Like, we need to keep it 100, people. We need to keep it 100. I'll leave this up on the screen for now. But yes, so her mother goes on and says, my daughter was an A student. She was an honor roll student, etc. And maybe she was. I don't know that she wasn't. Okay. But what I do know is that The police arrive on scene, and it took 11 seconds from the time the officer arrived on scene to shoot this woman. Okay, 11 seconds. In that 11 seconds, you see another man kick a woman in the head, and then you see these two going at it, and she pulls out a knife, and it appears that she is attempting to stab her, or she is in the process of stabbing her. The officer's responsibility is the sanctity of life. Again, her size or anything else does not matter. It does not matter. I cannot say it enough. It does not matter. It doesn't matter her age. It doesn't matter any of those things. I know people had said, why wouldn't you tase her? Again, the sanctity of life is a priority. It is our first priority. And this young woman in the pink, her life matters. So the officer, in my opinion, did absolutely nothing wrong. Nothing. Again, someone mentioned that her mother doesn't have custody of her. Again, from what my understanding is, this young woman lives in a group home. She is a ward of the state, which means the state of Ohio took her away from her mother. She lives in a group home. An aunt said she had some issues. She didn't elaborate on those issues. But this person actually lives in a group home and was in an encounter with these girls in this group home. I don't know what else to say. Literally, I don't even know what else to say in regards to this. Like, how can we make it make sense? And in this process, people are going to say, use a taser, use a taser, use a taser. Again, our use of force policy is made so that you meet force with force. You do not meet force with a lesser force. That is stupid. Like, I mean, just think about that for a second. I want to make sure that's very clear. We are trained to meet force with force. A knife is a deadly weapon. Therefore, an officer is authorized to use their firearm. They are to eliminate a threat, and sanctity of life is a priority.
Facts.
Hi, Sony.
Facts. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Sorry I'm late.
Fine.
You look, you summed it up, man. I don't understand how we're still having conversations about how if this was justified or not. That's crazy to me.
Because people are going to continue to pander and paint a picture and do all the things for their own narrative. And unfortunately, these are the days we are living in.
Yeah.
Like it really, like when people say like, oh, you know, you could have shot her in the arm, or you could have, remember, they are supposed to eliminate the threat. Okay. So, which is why they shoot center mass, people. This is why the police are trained to shoot center mass. You want to take out their delivery system being their arms. That is where they can stab you. If I tase this person and there's not an officer to gain control, or the taser doesn't connect, guess what? She can still stab this woman. She can still stab the officer. You are to eliminate the threat, which is why officers are trained to shoot center mass. Remove their delivery system, period. They are not trained to kill. They are trained to eliminate the threat. And this officer did. And unfortunately, this woman lost her life.
Yeah.
Period.
Her adrenaline was so high, the probability of the taser working, it probably wouldn't have worked. I don't think he would have reached her. He was not very close to her. If you actually look at the video, it's not like he was on top of her.
Well, also in body cam videos, they're actually closer than it appears.
Okay.
So I don't know what you know what, I meant to look that up when we were talking about the video.
Yeah,
Because originally when you see him, he looks like the officer's like a good distance from him.
but he's
But
closer.
when you look at the other video from the school looking at the gate, they're literally probably within 5 feet of each other.
Oh.
So just so that you guys know, on body cam footage, you can look it up, you can Google it. It's an actual fact. They are closer than they appear. And now, mind you, when this officer gets on the scene, it takes him 11 seconds times on the scene to shoot this female. In that time, they're still fighting. There's a gentleman who kicked the woman in the head.
Yep.
Like, it's going down. Now, mind you, all these people are out here. This is one of my biggest questions for the naysayers. All these people are out here, right? And they're recording and they're doing all these things. But not fucking one of them is trying to stop this madness.
Facts.
Not one of them. Not one of them. And then now what would have been the scenario had the officer allowed this female to stab this female?
She would be going to jail, and the one girl would be dead, possibly two, because she went after two of them. So the cycle of in and out of jail because you can't control yourself or you're angry would have continued. And I think everybody would be. What's funny is, Chelly, everybody would be more satisfied with that rather than a cop saving a life and unfortunately having to take another one. They would be more happy if both of them were lost, one to death and one to jail. That's the only other conclusion I could come to. That's the only other thing that would have happened.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And unfortunately, this is the world we're living in. This is policing in America these days. Everything you do is going to be wrong. I don't think that, honestly, I don't think that anything a police officer can do in today's day and age is right. That's my personal opinion. I don't think there's anything. And I think if you looked at my title, I said, how did we get here? Right. So I want to talk a little bit about that because I personally don't talk about that too much. Now, do I believe that in a time, wait, Les, welcome. Wait, are you ready, Chris? No, he's blacked out. So Chris just joined, so he'll be joining in a second. So okay. I think that I don't talk about how we gotten here. And I think there's many reasons, right? How we've gotten here. I will never turn a blind eye and say that there has never been a police officer who has ever been a racist or who has racially profiled. And I'm talking about from the beginning of time. Policing, I believe, started in 1736. So do I think that things were a lot different back then? Hell yes. Do I believe that people had beliefs back then? Do I believe that maybe they abused it? I do. I really do. But I think where we are at in today, where we are at right here, right now, this is political bullshit. Yeah. And it is politicized to create divide, because when they can divide us, they can conquer us as a people. Mm-hmm. And people truly don't understand what's going on. And I know everything, people think that everything doesn't revolve around politics. I'm going to say, I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
What would you say to that, Suni?
How do we get here? I think it started with Obama, honestly, in 2008. Was it 2008? When did Trayvon Martin die? What year was that?
2013, I believe, or 2012. 2012. And 2012? Then BLM arose in 2013, but it was with the help. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I know where you're going. Yes. Speak it, girl.
Okay. It was 2014, and he did this interview with BET. I think it was BET, and he just pretty much said that there's a mistrust for police in America and that we needed to deal with it. And it was kind of like out of nowhere, like, what? Like, where's the mistrust? I don't ever remember there being a conflict with police officers. Like, I don't. Even after Rodney King, I was pretty young, but I don't remember it ever being like this. I know it was this specific interview when he ran his mouth and then that disseminated to the public. And then you got, representatives and government leaders that hop on board with it. And it just took a life of its own. It got worse after Mike Brown, too. It was just a big cluster, the F word. I'm not going to say it, but that's, in my opinion, that's how we got here and why we're here. And it was solely because of President Barack Obama.
Let's welcome Chris.
Hello, rudeness.
You seen my message. I didn't see if you replied, but I knew that would get your attention.
So
hello, everybody.
What's happening, Chris?
Just a busy day.
Same.
So I was kind of catching some of what you're doing. I was driving, so I didn't get to hear everything you were talking about. But from the message going back and forth, I'm assuming we're talking about this. Damn, what's her name?
Makai Brantley, I believe.
Bryant. Yeah. Makai Bryant.
Yeah, so I could tell you I watched it. When I watched it several times, actually. We were watching it, talking about it today at work. And then, hell, even my mom watched it, which was surprising. My brother showed it to her, and she was like, what the hell? And she was like, after she watched it, she was like, why was she trying to stab them? I don't know. She's like, that officer just saved that other girl's life. Yeah, that's what it looked like to us. Yeah, but I think for me, like the break, just to run through the video, there's the shooting part, but there's just like out of all that, there was one thing that really irked me: the dude that hit the girl in the head. Mm-hmm. What the? That's all. I just shake my head at that. I mean, I got more to say, but we can get into that in a minute.
Yeah, we're basically talking about this. We're talking about policing in America today and kind of how we got here. So I have to agree that the war on police, and I will say it again and again and again, and if anybody wants to dispute it, you are welcome to this platform. We can have this conversation and we can talk about it respectfully. So the war on police, and yes, there is a war on police, started again, yes, under Obama. He fueled that fire, and all his coonies fanned the flames.
Yep.
His speech, you spoke about his speech, and his speech is like, oh, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin. And they talked about all this stuff and policing. And now, mind you, again, George Zimmerman was not the police. He was not even a security guard. Period.
He wasn't even neighborhood watch. He had looked into it, but he never actually got involved with the neighborhood watch.
Correct. He was not, and people continue. So that's when Barack Obama started with his speeches, and again, his entire coonies, his whole little cronies, decided to fan the flames, and that agenda has been pushed forward like no one's business. Right after Ferguson, what happened there, Mike Brown, again. Civil unrest, nonsense. Media was, including the media. When I say Obama and his cronies, the media is included, because I swear I can't tell who from who, to be honest. But this is my thing. This is what I'm thinking, right? What I would really, really love to push forward, and I'm actually going to talk to some very important people here in Chicago about trying to get this done. I think that politicians who represent the people, because the police are we the people as well, right? Even though they want to segregate us, we are still we the people. I pay taxes. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So I think I should have a voice too. And I think that politicians that the people elect to represent us should all do ride-alongs and should do a week in the police academy of police scenarios before they talk that shit or get elected, period.
I 100% agree with you, especially your AOC types.
Correct. I think all of them.
Yeah, I know 100%. But I'm saying like people like her, because I think the more we've been talking about the things that are going on, whether it was George Floyd or Breonna Taylor, or whoever else it was, I think last week when we were talking about Adam Toledo, something just with that really stuck out to me. And that was, like we discussed, like you don't really know what police officers go through. You don't know all the jobs that they have or that people think they have. Like they're not paramedics, but people assume that they are, even though some of them might be able to help render aid. But I 100% agree with you. I think if you're a community leader and you want to clean up your police force, then maybe you should ride along with your police force. You should see what they're doing on a daily basis. Right. That's kind of how leadership works anyways. If you're at your warehouse job, your supervisor or your leader, like they're going to come out and see what you're doing. Like they're going to walk the floor. They got to know the process. They got to see what's working and what's not working. And I think that goes across the board. If you're a mayor or a city council member or whatever you are, I agree with you. I think they should jump in these ride-alongs because, and not just police, but you could even go as far as like, hey, maybe EMTs or anything that provides that public service. Like go out there and see what your people are doing, so you can report on whether it's good, or you can bat them up if they're doing something good. Because if you never ride along with them, you don't see the hundreds of or thousands of things these police officers do that are good, maybe throughout their month or throughout the year.
Oh, correct. And they never talk about it. They never talk about it. They don't talk about the police unless it's in a negative light. And unfortunately, when people who don't research for themselves and only rely on the news for their information, that's why they have this painted picture, because it's painted with a broad brush. And this is what is being pushed forward. You rarely hear when the police do anything good, which I feel like if you would put as much stuff as when they're doing good things, you would probably not have as many people brainwashed by this narrative of police are just out here killing people of color. I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit. Suni, you guys were in the middle of a show, and when I happened to jump on, I believe I got in the middle of a wrong part because I was like, what in the fuck? I was like, wait, what? So I happened to jump on, and I happened to hear Anthony talking about he does believe that there are I don't want to misquote him, but there was a percentage where he felt like blacks were getting, or people of color were getting stopped because of their color.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. So that's kind of where I jumped in, and I was like, "Wait, Anthony, what the?" I was like,
he did. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and I think he mentioned that he had a friend named Curtis who had said that he was stopped while being black.
Mm-hmm.
So that he believed it. And he had plenty of other friends who mentioned that was why they were stopped. Mm-hmm. You brought up several great points. Thank you very much. I appreciate them. Also, Casey brought up a great point. Yeah. Now, I will say, and I will say again, I have had many people of all colors. When I stop them, and mind you, again, I am not a huge traffic person. I am not. My minimal... I can't tell you when last time I did a traffic stop, to be honest. But that being said, We are usually low on people and too busy answering calls. So
Mhm.
I'm not a big traffic person. I know that people, hey, people are running late to work and sometimes can roll through the stop sign. I've done it in the past myself. So why am I going to stop people for shit I do myself? Okay.
Mhm.
That being said, every time I have stopped someone, I have had people of all color tell me, oh, you have nothing better to do. I'm running late for work. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And mind you, if I'm stopping them, it's because there's something definitely wrong. Like I said, I don't stop people for rolling through a stop sign. I don't stop people for a cracked windshield. I don't do that. But if I'm in a squad car and we are both at a stop sign and you run that stop sign and you almost kill me and my partner, you are getting stopped. Is there an
Mhm.
emergency? My first question. Is there an emergency? Are you in a rush? Do you need any police service? Because you flew through the sign disregarding anyone else coming in the opposite direction. So that's usually my first question. But again, I have no idea what that person's color is until I walk up on that vehicle. Period. So
um
I can't see the narrative, especially if you live in big cities. Like you live in Chicago, I work in Humboldt Park. Do you know how many people have tints on their cars here?
Probably all of them.
The majority of them. So guess what? How many times have you been driving in your car? And let's just say you're going down the street and the sun is beaming in your fucking face.
Yeah.
Can you see even anything?
Nah.
Sometimes sometimes I'll have the visor down and my hands like, what the fuck? Like, because I'm afraid someone's going to dash out, like just walk into the street and I'm going to
Yeah.
run them over because I'm blinded by the light. Now, mind you, I have very light colored eyes. I am very sensitive to the sun in general.
Mm.
So when the sun is beaming in, I'm literally like putting one of my hands up, have the visor down so that I can make sure like people, because people here, they just walk into the street. They can give no fucks. So, and my concern is running someone over who just runs into the street because I can't see. So that being said, again, I don't know many people that can see into a car that is flying by
Yeah.
what color you are. So I
Well,
just kind of wanted to put that out there.
that's why I posed the questions that I did, because I
Maturity.
said it on the show. I said I will challenge every black person that has ever said that to prove it. How do you know it was because you were black? And honestly, it comes from the black community being paranoid, man. It's true. It's the truth. Everything is because we're black. If somebody looks at you wrong, it's because you're black. If somebody had an attitude at the store and they got an attitude with everybody and they get an attitude with a black person, oh, she's racist. Everything. So I'm sorry, but Curtis, I'm gonna call bullshit. I call bullshit on anybody that says they're pulled over because they're black. I'm sorry.
So I will also say, like, I think that maybe, like I said, I just can't see it. I've been doing this job for 24 years. And again, until I am walking up on that vehicle, because mind you, even through the passenger, even through the back seat driver's side window, if you have a hat and a jacket and stuff on, I cannot see your color yet.
People been watching too many movies, too much
It is true.
TV, where the officer's sitting in the car and he's like, it's a bunch of N-words over there. I'm gonna go fuck with them. Stop. Be a part of reality for a second. I lived in the most racist city that I've probably experienced growing up. And I said this on Cons Avengers. And I don't ever remember my father getting stopped, harassed by police officers. In fact, the cops in the city knew my family. So they didn't mess with us anyway. So I can't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And for myself, again, like when people tell me, oh no, they stopped me because driving while black, or they stopped me driving while Mexican, whatever the comments, I've heard that. Trust me.
Gosh.
Hispanics are the same. Trust me. A lot of Hispanics living in these low income neighborhoods, or they're on some shit. They're the same thing. You stop me for no reason. I'm like, okay, you have no driver's license. You have an expired plate. That's a reason, people.
Mm-hmm.
That is a reason. It is the law to have them in Chicago. So when people say that to me, I mean, I have family who says it to me. The police stopped me for no reason. And I'm like, well, what did they tell you? What did they give you a ticket for? Oh, my plates were expired. And I'm like, they can see that if they're driving behind you, right? Like you can see
No,
that
it's because
clearly.
I'm black. I'm black, and they just wanted to mess with me.
And they're
Man,
like, they have nothing better to do.
Hey, so what was I say? I forgot I muted myself. Let's go back to the tinted windows real quick, right? So when I think what I can't stand is one, like there's no more comedy, right? People are oversensitive. You can't joke around about nothing. You can't joke around about race. And they make everything out to be racist and wrong, right? Fuck all that. My friends are a mixed group. Like I got like my boy Dre. My other buddy Vinny calls him Darkness. And that's just what it is. And we joke with each other. My boy Levon, he's got a black car with super black tinted windows. And one day, like we're chilling, like I didn't even know he was in the car. And it wasn't because he was black. It's because his windows are hella dark. And he rolled down the window and he was like, hey, and I jumped because I wasn't looking. I was like, dude, I didn't even know you were in there. He's like, because I'm black. And I was like, no, because your windows are like limo tint. And he's like, yeah, that would make sense. I'm like, I was like, so yeah, and because you're black. Because it was that black on black on black on black on black. Because he had a black shirt, black jeans on. And he's like, oh, he laughs, right? Hey, it's all out of fun. It ain't racist. I'm not taking a knock at him, but that is something that's built into us. My point is something that's built into us. As soon as something happens, it's always because I'm black, because I'm brown, because I'm this, because I'm that. Like, why? What is this?
Please, can you please come on? Can you just come on the stream? Can you do that? Like, yo, please come on the stream. I'm begging you.
Okay, hold on. I gotta address this.
Does anybody wanna can anybody post the link on so he can come on?
Sure.
Black servicemen and women, we have died enough. First of all, whoever this is, hey, learn how to spell. For this country, us no longer. Okay. Hey, can you take that down so my face could be seen? Hey, right? Hey, he could get the fuck out of here. Hey, brown people, Asian people, they serve this country too. And you don't hear none of us bitching. And life wasn't easy for us. My grandfather worked the field, was treated like shit, went, served his country, came back, and kept moving on with life. Because you know why? Not all white people are racist, and it wasn't everybody that were treating them like shit. A couple white dudes that worked in, owned the fields, they might have treated him like shit, but he proudly served his country. And I've had uncles that have proudly served their country, cousins. I've lost friends. So that's the type of shit right there. Like, you could get lost with that shit. I would please come on the show and let's talk about it. I served this country. And even with all the shit going on, like, you're part of the reason what's wrong with America. And I would gladly love to have that conversation with you, whoever you are, with your bad spelling.
Yeah. I'm like, did you see it said cut the check?
Because he wants them reparations.
His name was Cut the Check. So this is what I'm going to say to you, sir. With all due respect, I am of Mexican and Puerto Rican descent. If we know our history, we know that Texas and parts of California, and there's one other part, belonged to Mexico at one point in time and was taken and is now part of America. I'm not sitting here bitching about it. Just saying. Also,
Whoa.
Also,
taken.
Yeah, it belonged to Mexico. I can't hear you, Chris. You're muted.
Oh, I was like, hold on, timeout. Taken.
You're talking, you're
Hey,
muted.
Americans sat on the border. They provoked the fight. Mexico fed into it, and we do what America does best. We won, and then we bought it for $17 million. So we at least gave them some money. I mean, it
He
wasn't.
said we at least gave them some money.
See, but that right there, like, yeah, okay, yeah, America provoked it. But Mexico couldn't handle it anyways. Mexico couldn't handle it anyways.
But I think that if we think about it, yeah, Mexico was never going to be able to handle it. America knows that. They're not stupid. I mean,
so let's
correct. Let's call a spade a spade. But my point is how many Mexican Americans have fought for this country?
A ton. And and here's an interesting fact, and what a lot of people don't understand. The reason why it's so hard for them to get an accurate number on how many Hispanic Latinos have served this country, the reason why is because they'll do what they did to my grandfather. They looked at his skin color. They said, oh, he's light, he's white. So instead of marking him down as something else, they marked him down as white. Because why? Spaniard is white. And that mixture of culture, some of us aren't dark. So he was labeled as white. So he does not get counted in the service members that have served. Neither do any of my uncles. Because they were in that time period where you really talk about skin color, like they weren't given an option. They walked up, they changed my grandfather's name, like the way his first name was spelled, because they asked you what it was and they wrote it down the way they heard it. And that was it. And he was white. And that's how they were tracking people. You were white or black. So a lot of us have served. And they're never going to get that accurate number.
Well,
no, my grandpa.
Well, even today, like, do you ever notice, like, once you pick, like, well, they have like your race and then your ethnicity. So it's either, if you're Hispanic, you have to choose. What are you? Are you black or are you white? Are you a black Hispanic or a white Hispanic? So that still happens even today. Like, if you look at any of your forms, you can put that you're Hispanic or again, once you have to go into it, it'll say black, white, whatever. So you got to choose whether you're a black Hispanic or a white Hispanic. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm in the middle. I'm a yellow Hispanic. Like, there's no yellow in there. I'm like, I just think it's ridiculous. I think all of it is pandering. I think a bunch of it. Wait, somebody is sending me some messages. Hold the fuck up. Let me stop sharing this. Okay.
Sorry. Hey, just to throw it out there. So it's funny because when people see my name, right, they'll be like, oh, Christian Parle. They always think like Italian or something. But then they'll look at my full name and they'll be like, so especially somebody who's Hispanic Latino, they'll be like, oh, your name's spelled wrong. And I'll be like, it's just not spelled the way you spelled it. And this is why. Because when my grandpa joined, they changed the B to a V. It is what it is, but hey, it stayed with us. And I mean, I'm used to it. So I don't know anything different.
Yeah. Well, not only that. So my point was, not only did Mexicans, I said I'm two races. I'm Puerto Rican and I am Mexican. So that being said, Puerto Ricans have been used as test dummies forever. Also, they have been depleted of their resources forever. They still currently have the Jones Act in that still affects them and has done a lot of damage to them, right? So again, do you see? I'm not out here yelling that I want my reparations. Now, mind you, I've had this argument with someone, I believe on one of Sunni shows prior, where it was this male black who's all about reparations, etc. And he wants reparations and said, well, everybody else has been paid. It's our time now. And I was like, well, damn, I'm still waiting. And so are my people in Puerto Rico, period.
Hey, and we'll kind of go back to like the policing, right? So, because some of the things you brought up, like, I think we can all agree that America the way this country has progressed, no, it hasn't been the prettiest. But what I can't stand is they'll take America and they'll be like, oh, it's racist, it's this and it's that. Yes, we did some horrible things, but there was many other nations out there, many other places in this world, whether, you know, it may be a kingdom or whatever. Like you have all these stories of like the Persians or the Spartans. Like you had all these other ruthless people that you have stories about in history, and there's other conquerors, but because that's so long ago, it's fictional to us. And because America's recent, and it's because, I mean, the reality is we are the world, like the world leader. We're up there. I think the only person other people close to us, I mean, as far as strength and manpower, things like that, is Russia, maybe China next. But when they look at us, like, yeah, we did some bad things, but the attention of America was to get away from what was going on in England, and we came over. Like, they didn't come over to just kill the Indians. They didn't come over to bring black people here. Like that. I'm pretty sure when they got on those boats to come over here, that was like, they didn't have a list like, so we're going to a new world. The first thing we're going to do, kill all the natives there. And we're also going to need black people. So that's not what they did. Those things happened. They happened as things moved on. They happened. Yes, America's done a lot of stuff. Like we used to blow up bombs in the Pacific Ocean, and radiation will go to these islands out there, and we hurt people. And the reality is, majority of the people doing it, yes, were white, but it's our nation, it's our history, and we are a part of that. Like we because we're here, that's our history, and it wasn't pretty. But where are we at now? And this is the same thing with policing. Okay, yes, you had the slave patrol. That's not why policing started. I think that's the stupidest thing. They'll be like, oh, policing started in America. So for all of you religious people out there that are, let's say, Christians, here's what you need to do. Go pick up your Bible, read a little bit about Jesus, and I don't know, he was put in jail in a sense. Like they locked him up, and then they had court, and they let people came out to decide. And you see in the Bible what mob rule does. Mob rule, what was his name?
Jesus.
Who did they let go?
They asked for Barabbas, a known criminal, and they crucified Jesus. Mob rule.
Mob rule. And if you look at that, so this whole story, like this whole thing that policing was started here, and that America's this evil place, it's been like this. Biblical times it was like this. And you can see that there was jail and what mob rule does. And I mean, that's how it was supposed to be. I'm a firm believer in that. Things were supposed to go the way they did, and that's what happened. But my point is there's your example right there. So this policing was meant to keep black people, in the system. No, politics, modern day politics has done that.
Correct. I agree with you 100%. And when I mentioned earlier about Puerto Ricans being test dummies, so they used Puerto Rican women. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, so I wanted to wait for my husband to come out because he knows so much about his culture. Wait, she said I'm banned. What do you mean? You can't jump back on? What the hell?
Hey, we did have a moment there where I think the stream went down because I had to restart mine, and not too long after that, it booted her out. And Sam Cook, that's because I told you earlier, it's because you're rude and they're watching you. I told you.
What did she do? What did she do?
She was being rude on this show. I don't know what she did.
What did she do?
Being Sunni.
You said she was being Sunni.
Sunni says she stays in trouble.
She does. I think that's why.
Anyway, so my point is that they were used for guinea pigs for birth control and other things. So this has been happening forever, right? But do you see them running around asking for reparations and all this kind of bullshit, all this like pandering? Like, look, at the end of the day, none of us disagree that slavery was a thing, right? We know this, right? But again, nobody alive today owned slaves. Nobody owned slaves. Like we have to get our minds where we are today and why are we here. She's banned from StreamYard. She says she's banned from StreamYard. What the hell? It won't let me come back on. Can you come back on as Suni?
Well, Suni, sucks for you.
Oh, I click it and it kicks me out. Can you try this, Suni?
Maybe your connection.
Her connection?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a. I just hit the button and joined. I don't know too much about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. Like she's let's see if it'll. She says she's getting an error message. Are we still live? Yeah, I think we're still live, right?
No, we are, because I'm watching. I got YouTube and Facebook rolling.
All right, she's back.
And we're going.
What the hell happened to you? You're I can't hear you. I can't hear you. It doesn't look like you did. I hear you.
So, wow, Suni's getting it together over there.
There? Yes.
Oh,
There, now I can hear you. I can hear you now.
I couldn't come in through Chrome. I had to use Firefox.
What the hell?
Back in between shows because I overbooked myself. And I tried to come back and then it wouldn't let me come in. It kept giving me that 401 error message.
Oh, wow.
You're doing too much. That's why.
Man, do you want to beef right now? Like, what is it?
I feel like nobody ever comes and gives you a challenge. And I think one day, I hate playing. Like, I'm not one for devil's advocate. Like, I think that's the stupidest shit to say. But I think one day, just because like you're always asking for somebody to argue with you, and I like to argue just for the sake of arguing.
Let's go, man.
And I like debating. Like, I will pit the opposite stance, and I will argue with you.
It's not arguing though. It's constructive criticism.
You don't have to
iron
argue
sharpen
with me.
irons.
I'm gonna argue with you.
Oh, okay.
He just wants to argue to argue.
He did. He came to the comment section. He was talking his shit. It's like, maybe because you're rude, and I'm like, nah. Maybe people are just weak.
Anyway, so and this kind of goes back to like, okay, so you were talking about the testing, right? Like, okay, so I know like right now with the vaccines, okay, yeah, there's black people and they're constantly doing this. We're like, black people are afraid to get the vaccine because they tested on them and we've always been experimented on. And it's like, okay, how many times? Like I always hear like one. What was it? The Tuskegee experiment. Like you always got that one. What else you got? And if you got a dozen of them, when did it stop? Oh, 40, 50 years ago. So why are you still bringing it up? How do people expect us to progress forward if you're constantly bringing up the past like it's happening right now? And that's why we're stuck in this stupid cycle, because every time we go move forward, somebody like Barack Obama decides to throw us right back in. Why? Because racial tension makes money and it keeps people in power. And I will say that because if you really dig into apartheid in South Africa, hey, those dudes were whoever came up with that, like they had people go out and look, like in research why slavery didn't work. And they came up with like this almost perfect system. Okay, until people got smart and started fighting against it. But South Africa, they did racism right. Like they had institutional and what is that other word? Systemic racism. Like they had laws, and you got in trouble for being in a mixed relationship. you got to, like, they kept their people separated. So when people start talking this, you know, all this crazy stuff, like, it's just they're bringing stuff up. And I'll go back to 2001 when they hit the towers. That was the first time in American history that all this racial bullshit went out the window. And, or I will say, our focus changed. We started being mean to Indian people, thinking that they were that they were Middle Eastern. But we got past that in a couple of years. Like, and then we realized that, hey, you know, there are brothers and sisters too. They're Americans too. And we stopped targeting them. Maybe you had a few here and there, but it wasn't everywhere. And what happened? Obama came in and put us right back in this racial tension bullshit, whatever you want to call it.
Can I kick her?
Right in the throat.
Man, just make her teeth click real hard. One good time.
Period.
Phew.
So this is another little. This is the reason we're in this situation. This person right here should be forced, especially like Maxine Waters, when you incite violence and you promote that shit, you should be forced to do a week in the police academy doing nonstop scenarios. That shit should be recorded for the public to fucking view. And you should be able to do a ride along. You should do at least 1 week long of ride alongs. Period.
Hey, to what
Because
this lady
of stupid shit like this.
Yeah, and to what she's saying right now, okay, and this is why I think in some areas, like, the Democrats are going to win. These people that are pushing abolish police are going to win. Because if they can't get the city to abolish the police, they're going to push police officers to the point where they just going to walk away. And then they win. But I'm almost to that point where I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe you should just walk away. So then when you see situations like this, where you got this girl trying to stab people, and then you see that last shot, she was coming up over, going to stab that girl in the face. If that cop wasn't there, the girl would have got stabbed in the face. Maybe that's what people, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, my bad. I take that back. Black on black don't cry. Crime don't matter. My bad.
They want to see black people locked up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they wanted her to stab her in the neck so she can go to jail, and there's one less black girl on a planet. That's
hey,
what it is.
You know, hey, so when people are like, "Oh, the system's racist," right? And they're always going back to black, you know, police officers killing black men, right? When are people going to wake up and realize that? I don't know how many times you got to hear about black women and abortions. Like, they kill more black people than anybody else, right? But nobody cares. Black people kill black people, but that's not important to them. I mean, when are that community, and I hate to get on it but that's really what we're always seeing is it's the black community and the white community. When people wake up and they realize that, hey, your own community don't love or respect each other, how do you expect anybody else to love and respect you? Like, you guys are killing each other at high rates. Stop killing each other. Somebody like, I don't get it. And they're telling me, oh, it's a systemic racism. Yes, there might be. I don't want to say it's a racial systemic system, but if there is one, it's the Democrats that are putting it in place. Not saying the Republicans are any better, because I have especially in California, I have my issue with Republicans because they'll use the cheap labor, and the Democrats will give them, you know, our illegal immigrants the free money. But they are building the system. And they have black people so fooled that they're telling black people, like, it doesn't, black on black crime doesn't affect them. Like, they don't even budge. It doesn't even touch their heart.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Ow! What the hell, man? It had to be Jean Tisha, didn't it? Black folks are their own demise at this point. All right? Their own demise. So whatever happens when these fools don't listen, it's because they did it to themselves.
Hey, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
How good's
And
the
this
sound?
is when you have, it's good.
Okay.
And this is when you have athletes like LaCrying James. He will always be LaCrying James to me. That's not because he has things against police officers, but so he posts this, you're next.
And then he deleted it.
And he deleted it. But guess what? Your PR team is too slow, son.
Did you hear
People
his
already got
response on why
His
he
what?
deleted it?
Uh-uh.
He said, I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. Once again, ignore niggas killing niggas. But okay. I took the tweet down because it was being used to create more hate. So you didn't put a target on this officer's back by plastering his fucking face and saying you're next, accountability, when he didn't even murder this girl.
Correct.
Where is the accountability? And he had the nerve to put accountability in big bold letters at the bottom.
Well, you know what I want to know? Why didn't LeBron speak on Jaslyn? 7-year-old shot 7 times.
Because they don't care. Hey, so
Why
real
didn't he
quick,
speak on her? She's a black girl. She's young. She's a baby.
Where did your mic on?
Are you muted?
is it
I don't know.
No, I
You
can hear
sound
him now.
very faint. Okay.
right now?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Better. Okay. Hey, so me and Tisha are going to switch off because I have to go run another errand. I got to go get dog food. But before I go, the LeBron James thing, right? And that's kind of where I was going with this. Like they don't the black community, and I'm not going to say all of them because I hate when they put everybody in a box. I hate when they put all Hispanic Latinos in a box, and they like we all think the same because we don't. Some of us feed into the bullshit and believe all the stuff going on, and some of us don't. Okay, some people in the black community, like LeBron James, like they don't care if black people are getting shot by black people, or if a young black girl gets killed in a drive-by or whatever it was. Like they don't care. And this is where I was going to, and I'll finish with this. And this goes back to that waking up. The things that are going on are glorified, and they've been going on for years. I think the difference now and then, and maybe it was there then, I just didn't see it, but now everything is turned into racism. But I like music. I listen to my rap music or whatever. And the one thing that is constantly, like, I don't listen to it as much anymore, and I've changed from it, but hoes, drugs, guns, like there's music I used to listen to where they're talking about getting out and shooting each other. Like this was glorified. That gang life was glorified. And as I got older, I'm like, you know what? I listened to some of the stuff and I'm like, that's crazy. Because I used to really believe in this stuff. Like I used to really get into it and listen to it. Why? Because that was a lifestyle that I was living. Those were the people I was living around. And what kills me is that they're so like, I think there's very few racist, I would say highly racist areas, maybe in the South. Okay, get it. The problem we have is culture. A lot of this stuff is being pushed. Fuck the police. I'll bust at the police. I'll shoot, I'm going to shoot at the police. All this stuff. And then not only that, but then they're talking about like, I'll put 2 in your head. I'll shoot you, 2 to the body or whatever it is. Like I listen to stuff. I'm like, man, then they wonder why these young black kids or these young brown kids are out there fighting with the police or running from the police. Whether it be on foot or in a car, like this stuff, it's taught to them in the music. It's taught to them in the movies by the people that they live with in the streets. Like they're teaching them to be like this. And then they get upset when the police officer shoots them, especially when they're resisting arrest. But they don't give a damn about the effect that this culture has on their own community. And until people of color, and I'm going to go back to my Hispanic and brown people, until we wake up and we see that we are being played by the political parties and mostly the Democrats, until we see that, we're going to keep running this cycle over and over and over again because they don't give a fuck about us. This is all about money and it's all about power. Maxine Waters does not care about black people. She cares about her California lifestyle and the money that she brings in and living in her multi-million-dollar home in LA or in Southern California. She don't care about you black people. She don't. I mean, it's obvious because she's telling you to go out there and riot and escalate. Okay, she didn't say riot. To escalate things is what she's telling them to do. What happens when you escalate things? You put people's lives at risk. Now you really have people believing that the only option they have to solve this police issue, like we heard with this girl, when they were out there protesting in the street, you're starting to see it. There was a dude out in the street saying 1 for 1. You shoot one of us, we shoot one of you. That's going. I didn't think the Civil War shit was going to happen, but it's going on. People are starting to be vocal about it. And when it gets to the point in some of these big major blue cities, when you shoot one of them, a black person, and a black person shoots a cop, that's when all hell's going to break loose. I don't think it'll happen through all of America, but that's where we're heading. And politicians are fueling the flame. People need to wake up. I'm going to leave you with that. And then
our friend is back, Chris.
Oh, let me see real quick. U.S. community.
So people like you crack me the fuck up. And I'm going to say this. Currently in Africa, right? Because you care so much about African Americans, sir. There are over 700,000 slaves in Africa right now. And you're doing shit about it except being on my live running your fucking mouth. So don't talk to me about African lives or black lives when you are not doing a fucking thing about it, but in my comments, running your mouth with that nonsense. Because guess what? Since you care so much about African nations, fucking go back. And that's not a racist comment. That's a fucking 100 keeping it real comment.
Hey, that's like somebody being like I've had people like, oh, if you don't like it here, go back to Mexico. No. This is my country. Like, I was born here. And even if you were to be like, go back to where you're from, like I was from here. But here's the thing, like and I say the same shit to my own people. Like, if you don't like it here, then why did you immigrate here? Why did you come here? You came here for a better life, and then you want to come over here and complain because it's systemically racism. Walk your ass back across that border where the cartel's at, and they're chopping people's heads off. Mm-hmm. If you don't like it here, that's what you could go there. Our people could make it back there very easy. They don't want that. Why? Because these people are tired of living in fear. Same thing with black people. They're not going to go back. Why? Because it's cush here in America. And if you don't get involved in gangs and live in the hood, your chances of living are very high. I have a lot of black friends, and they're all doing all right. Why? Because they're not running around gangbanging, doing stupid shit. So that whole narrative that America right now is killing black people, all the black friends that I've lost have not been to the police. They've been to health issues or accidents or in the military. So I know quite a few people. It's not that's bullshit.
And now he's saying America advanced modern medicine by experimenting on Black Americans, not African nations. On and on to 21. First of all, if you want to have a voice on this show, I will drop the link and you are welcome to come on and talk that shit face to face. Again, I just stated about 30 minutes ago, rewind the tape, that Puerto Rican women were guinea pigs for medicine. Okay? We are not out there running around. We, because I am Puerto Rican, are not out there running around burning shit and looting shit and asking for reparations because of now we're trying to create a police issue. I have been Latina my entire life. I've born and raised in the hood my entire life. I still live in the hood. I've never gotten stopped by the police, ever. While driving while being Mexican or driving while being Puerto Rican. That has never happened to me, sir. Again, my people were used for guinea pigs as well. Guess what? They were used for their resources. They're not even considered a state of the United States of America. So don't talk to me about one-sided arguments because you have no valid points here.
No, and he's the type of dude, because I know dudes like you or he or she or sir or whatever you want to be called. Bring the facts. Find me on Facebook. Find me on YouTube, not YouTube, but yeah, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. My Facebook's open. Go ahead and drop me a message. Shoot me all the stuff you're talking about. Provide me all the facts, and then we'll have a discussion. I'd like to see it because I met people like you, and they start giving you stuff, and then I look into it, and it's okay. but this is somebody's opinion. Like, where's your factual background? A lot of the shit that you're doing, that you've been fed up, even if it's not, some of it might be real. A lot of that shit's in the past. You act like they're taking, like, you tell me one of your friends, like if you're a black person in America and you think that they're still being tested on, tell me one of your friends that they've taken down to a center and tested on them. And I'll stay here waiting. No, I won't, because we'll be here forever, because you're not going to be able to prove that. It's stupid. Just like there, I bet you there's a ton of black people or brown people out there that I could be like, hey, tell me one of your friends that was gunned down by the police. I'll stand here waiting. Most of you ain't going to be able to say that because it's not happening at the rate that they're saying. This is nonsense. Hey, I got to go. We're going to switch off. John Tisha's jumping in. If I make it back and you guys are still on, maybe I'll sit down next to her and join you guys. If not, thank you for having me on, and I'll see everybody later.
He said, funny how you guys avoid what I'm saying if I'm lying. Again, feel free to come on the show and we can have a discussion about it. No one is avoiding what you're saying. I am counteracting what you're saying with actual facts. You talk about all the things that are going on, and again, you tell me one time that you were a slave. Tell me one experience you have had as a slave in America. That's what I want to hear. One time that you were a slave in America. Okay? That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Tell me one time you've done anything for African Americans. Tell me that. Because there are 700,000 African slaves currently in Africa. Okay? What happened in Rwanda? About Rwanda, since you have so many facts, you care so much about people. Let's talk about Rwanda. Have we not forgot the Hutus and the Tutsis and what happened and how many people were slaughtered in the streets? Have we forgotten about that all of a sudden? Like, I believe we forgot about that. All right, so Mess will be back in a minute. But if you want the link, I will drop you the link. Hello, John Tisha. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Shelly, is he going to come on?
I don't know. He's talking, but he's not coming on. I gotta figure out how I can send him the link. Because he's only on YouTube.
I was trying to find the YouTube stream, but I couldn't find it because I was going to drop it in there. So if you send me the link, I'll put it in there for him.
All right.
To the YouTube.
Hold, please.
I'm going to drop off for a second because I double booked myself. So sorry. As soon as I finish this, hopefully you guys are still here and it won't take me that long. I'll be back because I want to talk to FBA DOS, cut the check.
I'm going to send you, let's see if I could send you the link for the YouTube.
Okay. People call him a chicken shit.
I'll send it to you through Messenger.
Okay. Uh-oh, what's going on with the sound? Can't hear John Tisha.
Well, I think Chris is working on it.
Okay. I'll
She
be
says
right
it's
back.
his fault. Okay. Hold on. Let me see how I can send the link now. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, wait a second. You guys, John Tisha's having technical difficulties, but she will be right. She'll be here shortly. I mean, you could see her. Why doesn't she look sad? Don't look sad. Funny how you guys, okay, he's still talking. Anyways, you guys, give me a second. I'm trying to get the link so that I could send it to Suni so she can have this guy come out. Because I'm here for it.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to mess with that other one now.
So he tried to set us up in the same room so that we can have our own camera and do our own thing. It's a trial and error thing.
I have to
So
adjust the microphones.
yeah. Thanks for bearing with me. Sorry. I know it's been a while since I've been on one of these, so
So before I leave, I was
This
going
guy.
to tell you that I grabbed this book off our bookshelf. So our friend Josh the last time recommended this book.
Rules for Radicals.
So I started reading it, and it's
Isn't that for like to understand the other side?
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
bye. And I missed a whole bunch of stuff, so I apologize. You're muted now.
I'm trying to figure out the link so I could send it to this guy to see if he wants to jump on.
Well, I will say, well, I made a comment on the Facebook post because he was talking about how America did all these things or whatever, and my comment was basically like, okay, so I guess Africa is off the, gets a pass, because they didn't lynch people, but they cut off limbs and they cut off intimate parts and they raped women and they, and they kidnapped and took little children and they recruited children into their militias and into their little armies and stuff, and they cut off heads and, they just did those things. So, they get a pass. They didn't lynch anybody. It's fine. They didn't sell their people. They didn't overtake other tribes or anything like that. They didn't do that. So they're fine. They get a pass. It's fine. What? And I'm not saying there's some things he was talking about that there is some truth to it. I get that. But we're not still doing that. And maybe over the years there was some things that might have happened, like drugs into the less fortunate neighborhoods and inner cities and stuff like that. But POC, people of color, Black Americans, they're not the only ones who suffered because of that. Period. So for the fact of, everyone else gets a pass from all their slave stuff and all their killing and maiming and raping and pillaging, they get a pass. They all get a pass. It's just America. America sucks, They're the younger nation of the world. They might be the most powerful or the leading, country in the world, but we're still pretty young compared to the rest of the world because they were all established before America was, and they were doing these things before America was. but they all get a pass, so it's fine. It's fine. You're muted.
I just dropped it in the link. So if you want to have a conversation, there is our link. Jump on.
Oh man, I could have did that. My bad.
It's okay. I figured it out.
We figured it out.
I figured it out. So you are welcome to come on. We can have a respectful conversation. I am here for it. So you are more than welcome to come on. But I want to kind of like jump back into like policing, how we've gotten here, why are we here now? Again, I believe that a lot of it is politicized, period. That is the main thing. It is politicized to a different degree because, again, they want to keep you at a certain level so that you can continue to give them your votes. And if they feel like they are giving you any kind of, they're giving you any little bit of crumbs, people will take that and run with that shit because you feel like something is better than nothing. Like how many times when they gave the $600 or when they gave the stimulus checks, people were like, oh, well, something's better than anything. Something's better than anything. They were here for it. They were just like, yeah, I'll take whatever you give me. I don't care what you throw at me. Like you know what? Like you sell yourself short. We sell ourselves short as people. And again, in order to conquer us, they have to divide us. Like we are in this situation where someone mentioned Candace Owens. And Candace Owens was dead ass. She was with Ben Shapiro and some of the other people from his show. And she talked about it. And she definitely said, there's zero incentive right now to be the police. I don't care where you're at in America. There is zero incentive. And it is exactly what you and Chris talked about earlier. Mob rule.
100%. And on top of that, like, I made this post earlier, like just an FYI, if anyone's paying attention, if you're a believer, if you have, faith in God and you're spiritual and like you're really doing that whole thing, like just remember that chaos and division and confusion come from the enemy. He literally is about killing, stealing, and destroying and dividing and conquering. So the fact that people who are, they can believe they're right because they have faith and yet still deny the actual truth. And you see it point blank, right? You see it. And we understand and we know that, things are going to happen and it's going to be this way or whatever. But that doesn't change the fact that we still have a job to tell the truth and to be honest and still be the love and the light in the world, period. And the truth means the complete 100% truth, like truth all around the whole thing and not just parts of the truth that make it seem this way or that way, but the pure legit truth. And the sad thing about that is that there's only going to be a select few of us who are going to understand and realize and see the actual truth and to really know what that is and stand up to tall in it and be heard and to stand arm in arm and fight. There's only going to be a few of us. There's going to be some of us who do that, and the rest of the people are not. They're going to stay blinded and they're going to stay in this. There's some that are going to be turned, but for the most part, this is what life is. And we have been given strength and boldness and courage and love and truth and light and all of those things and family in order to stand up and be the light for the other people in the world. Like this is what we're supposed to do. So here we are doing it. And so, period.
And this is the last comment I'm going to address. I sent the link. You are more than welcome to join. Otherwise, I am not going to address any more of your comments. I am wasting too much time and energy on someone who is not willing to have an actual conversation. So if you do, the link is in the comments. I posted it. Jump on. We're more than willing to have a respectful conversation with you. No one is debating, but if you want to talk facts, we will talk facts. You said policing is based strictly off Jim Crow's patrols to keep slaves in check. Guess what? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, what have they done for people of color? And guess what? They were voted in, okay? So when you want to talk to me about Jim Crow laws and what policing is today, I will tell you for a fact. Everybody that I know, for the majority of people in the station that is closest to my home, they are minorities. And the white officers are Minimal. People of color are the majority of police in the neighborhood I live in. I live in the heart of Humboldt Park. And the officers are minorities.
And also, side note, even if that's true, that's not what policing is now. That's not what it is now. That's not why the police who join the force, that's not why they're there now. It's no longer that. I mean, there's stories all over the place, all over the Bible about how, you know, the origin of these people were XYZ, or they did this, or they persecuted these people, or they killed these people, or whatever, but they didn't stay there. They didn't end up that way. They might have started there. Unfortunately, they might have started there, but that's not how it ended, and that's not how it's going. So.
Right. And then he says, I'm not here to debate everything I said as fact. If you're not educated, all you need to do is read. Well, it depends what you're reading, sir. Just because you are educated doesn't make you fucking smart. Okay? So when you start throwing little things out like that, you make me angry, because now you are assuming things about me when I am actually very educated, especially on this topic, for many reasons that I won't care to go into. So again, you're more than welcome to jump on this show. You are more than welcome to have a voice. I will be more than happy to do a voice and to express what you're saying and base it and present your facts, as well as John Tisha. We are two Hispanic women. We are minorities. We're more than willing to have a conversation with you. But again, that is the last little bit of effort I am giving to you. Again, I am very educated. John Tisha is very educated, especially in regards to policing. Like, we can go toe to toe about it. Anyways, enough of him. You have a great night, sir. Thank you for watching. Next, let's move on to some little facts I want to show you guys really quick when we're talking about policing, because I'm going to show you all the things that people don't show you. The media doesn't show you, politicians don't show you, just because they don't give a shit. That's the God honest truth. Here we go. This is the Officer Dow Memorial page. Okay, this page you can always get numbers in regards to police officers that have been either hurt or injured. Current year honor roll. Let's see what this is. So currently to date, we have 103 deaths. 17 of them have been shot in the line of duty. Okay, we are in April. 2 of them were stabbed to death. 3 of them were assaulted and they succumbed to their injuries. And the rest you can clearly read. So we will go based on just the violent crimes towards police. There's 2 that were stabbed to death. 17 that were shot in the line of duty. That makes it 19. And 3 that were assaulted. That's 22. Here's a list of names, etc., for each and every one of them. So I'm going to also share, give me 1 second, let me stop sharing that page. Because that's something the media does not share with you. Oh wait, can I get this guy's freaking thing off my screen?
Yeah, I was like, yo.
Sorry. All right, so also I wanted to share really quick. Share the screen. Here we go. I don't need audio. There are currently more than 800,000. It's actually a little less now. I think the newest numbers by Ben Shapiro were about 700,000 sworn law enforcement. Why do you think it's went down 100,000 so quickly? I could tell you why, because they are getting out of Dodge ASAP. Now serving makes United States, which is the highest figure ever, about 12% of those are females. So there's 12% of us that are female. I'm here.
Which is really bad though, because if no one's joining the force, you know what the government's going to end up using? They're going to end up using the military to handle their business, and then we're really going to be going down this this avenue and this lane of communism and socialism and all of that. Like, there's going to be no going back after that. Like, we're like legit going to end up like it's going to be civil war for like hands down. I mean, if you think that spiritually you have a side to pick, like this is going to be no different.
So I want to show you guys this number right here. There are 365 female officers listed on a memorial wall, which means they have been killed in the line of duty since the beginning of time. 11 female officers were killed in 2019. So if we want to talk about people being killed at a crazy rate, let's talk about female police officers getting killed at a crazy rate. 11 of them were killed in 2019. They make up only 12% of 800,000. So you do the math and tell me who's getting killed at a higher rate. I mean, you can't make the shit up. It just is what it is, but no one's going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about the media is not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. But again, you can't make this stuff up. If women police officers are only 12% of 800,000 officers, and 11 females got killed in just 2019 alone, I mean, do the math. It's very, very, very simple to say. Again, and go look at these numbers for police officers dying while on duty. It doesn't even give you the numbers of officers that were injured in the line of duty throughout the year. And I think that reason that that's important is because it puts into, it paints a better picture of why there may be some officers that are on edge. Again, the amount of police officers killed in the line of duty, and now you add into it how many officers were actually injured in the line of duty. Just summer of 2020, and I'm going to speak about just Chicago alone because those numbers I have very clearly. Just the summer of 2020, thousands, okay? We're supposed to be 13,500. We are probably less than 10,000 actual police officers. And I believe it was between 1,500 and 2,000 officers injured in the summer of 2020. So you're not going to hear that on the news. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, I will never ever say that there's never been a racist officer. There's never been an officer who's done anything wrong, because I think good comes in all shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter what uniform you wear, period. So that being said, what say you, Jantisha?
Well, funny that you asked me that. So I was thinking earlier about all this stuff and watching that video with the girl and the cop and all that, and I was thinking, like, if I was going to say something, what am I going to say that means something to me or that matters or any of those things? And my main thing is that unity can only, like, we can be different. Okay, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. So my kids are watching some of these movies, and I'm slowly noticing the little isms that are in these movies and how they're referencing certain things, like, you know, race or, you know, homosexuality or, you know, whatever. And one of them was like, you know, we're different, and to ignore our differences is to deny who we are. I'm like, okay, I get that. I get that. I do. I get that. Yes, we're all different. Yes, but we can be different and want the same things, which is what came to my mind. We can be different and want the same things. It's just a matter of how we go about them. And then that kind of made my brain dive a little bit deeper and think about that and more. And the thing that continues to come to me, and it will always come to me, is that the only way that we'll ever become one or become unified, the only way we'll become one or unified or walk in the same direction for the same things is when we all believe in the same thing, without a doubt. And at the end of the day, for me, that's like, we're all children of God, right? That's what I believe. That's where my faith is. And we're all children of God. And when we accept that, then he loves us all the same. We are in unity in Christ. We're not in unity in America or in unity in, Black America or unity in Hispanics or whatever. We're not unified in those kind of differences in that way, but we're unified under that spiritual love and faith and light and positivity, those things. And unfortunately, that type of unity isn't going to come for a while, but that doesn't mean that there isn't hope, that it's possible, because it is possible. It's just a matter of people getting out of their own way and understanding and realizing that this is what this world is. Like, this is what it is. Is it right? No, it's not right. Are we going to stop all of it? No, we're not going to stop all of it. But we can talk about it, and we can raise our voices about it, and we can continue to talk about the bigger picture, which is love. And people can be like, love, whatever, like love conquers all things. Like, it really does. It comes with understanding. It comes with unity. It comes with getting out of our own way and wanting to understand the people around us and coming to the middle, right? Jesus didn't come to people that were exactly like him. He came to people that were different than him. And if he's our example, and our example is actually to serve each other, not to point our differences out and to call and to do this or do that. Am I saying that doing so is like the wrong thing in the world? No, I mean, we got to understand what is wrong and what is right. And sometimes we have to address those things. But at the end of the day, if Jesus is our example is to love each other. Our example is to help each other. Our example is to teach each other. And our example is to lead each other to the right thing, but also to serve each other. And how do you serve each other? You serve each other by getting out of your own damn way. And on top of that, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but the Pharisees are not just people in church. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, the people who do as I say, but not as I do, those people, those hypocrites, like, they're the government. They're all of the other people who are trying to divide everyone. Those are those people. I don't know if you knew that or not, but the Pharisees are all of the people that are trying to convince you to do the wrong thing as if it's the right thing and to divide everyone. Those are the Sadducees. Those are the Pharisees. Those are the people that you don't want to follow. You want to go against the grain. So I kind of am not 100% sure if that was like what you asked me, but there it is. It's been on my mind and on my heart like all day.
Hey, get it out, girl. Get it out. That's what we're here for it all. But yeah, so no, like literally that is exactly right. That's 100%. Like, again, when we talk about policing in America and why are we here? Again, we've said it over and over again. If you do not think that things are politicized, you are being played. I'm telling you, things are politicized for a reason. Okay, we need to start paying attention. We need to start investigating for ourselves.
They're trying to hurt us, just FYI.
Correct. They are not trying to help us. They are not trying to help us. They're not trying to help us split up.
Yeah, and I don't mean hurt like H-U-R-T, like, yeah, that too, but herd like H-E-R-D, herd, like cattle. They're trying to herd us into a certain direction. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they're trying to herd us this way as a whole for what they want, for what they have planned. So I'm just throwing this out there. Anyone who's gonna, I'm throwing it out through the camera. And if you're watching this, I pray and I hope that you're catching it, that they're trying to herd us into a specific direction. Keep your eyes, keep your mind. I pray that your mind and your eyes and your heart and your understanding and your discernment are open to those things so that you catch it and so that you wake up before you get caught up in those little kennels and you can't find your way out because they're trying to move you like this. I'm warning you. It's
Yeah.
warning you. It's a warning. Like, it's so strong right now. Like, pay attention.
I agree. Scott, so if I retired at 25 years, my percentage, it's different. So it depends on it changes. So I don't know what the exact percentage is. It won't be my full pension. So in order to get full pension, I have to have 29 years and 1 day to get a full pension. And I would have to be 55 in order to collect that pension. I'm not yet, as well as the insurance. So insurance, if I stay till 55, right now we're at like 2% that I'd have to pay. I believe they're trying to move up to 3%. So I still have to be 55. So I don't have the age for either. So my husband has been very, very vigilant on creating a plan for us. We do have some other avenues. We own a few homes, and we should be good when we do retire. The thing I worry about for me is the insurance, because my husband and I, he's a year older than I am, but I have lupus, so I definitely need the insurance. And to pay for the insurance, which if I leave prior to 55, it's like almost $2,000 a month. So I probably will, like I said, my husband, we're working on a plan. We're like really focused on it. So I won't be leaving anytime soon. I think I'm definitely going to be at least there another couple years. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm trying to read some questions. I feel sorry for officers in Chilean City who have a mayor willing to throw them under the bus and undermine them at every turn for political pandering. You are absolutely correct, Jonathan. It is very sad that we don't have support. Huh?
Don't forget to take the banner down. The comment.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it right now. Where the hell is it? Got it.
Side note, just wondering what I lost it. Who did I reply to? I replied to someone who said, I don't understand the smile and the giggles. If you can elaborate on that for me, I'd appreciate it.
I didn't even see that.
I gotta find it. It's up here. It's on Facebook. I lost it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. So I didn't see it. I missed it. But anyways, yeah, so I just kind of wanted to touch on the few things that are going on. There is another shooting. Currently, I believe it is in North Carolina. The video footage has not been released as of yet. I do know that it was a male Black that was killed. Supposedly, he is a father of 10. There was a search warrant. That's all I know. For myself, I don't like to talk about police-related shootings until I have video footage, until I have more content of what exactly took place there. So that will be coming out when we have more information in regards to that. So that will come out when once I know something about it. Like I said, the most I know about it is that it was a male Black. He is a father of 10. There was a search warrant. That's all I know. So that being said, I'm not going to speak on it. And I recommend that you get all your facts before you speak on something like that, because we don't want to cater to the narrative of what's being done and said in the world. We don't want to push that narrative. We don't want to, don't get me wrong. If he's totally wrong, then he's totally wrong. I'll be the first to say it. I don't have that problem. But again, until we have all the facts, just like in a jury, right? They're not going to give a verdict unless everybody's opinion is out and everybody has all the facts. They present all the facts to a jury, and then the jury makes its decision. I prefer to do the same thing. I think it's only fair, and everybody deserves that right, whether you're the police or you're not the police. Everybody has the right. He was a father of 10. He said, mind blown. Hey, he He's doing what God said. I had to.
That is hilarious.
I had to.
Oh my goodness. That is hilarious.
He said it's a lot being a father for.
Shoot, it is.
For real.
I'm a father. It's a lot.
It's definitely a lot. I have 5 and I'm like, good Lord, girl, what were you thinking? But I had to say that I thought we needed a joke, like life is so intense. Things are crazy. Like yesterday, I worked and I was so tired and I didn't eat. Literally, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to lose weight, but damn, I ain't trying to disappear. Like it was bad. Today I didn't eat until like 4:00. It's been crazy busy days. My son is getting ready to go to college. He finally picked a college. So my son will be attending Loyola. So he finally picked, and then there's some paperwork for that because they don't know if they're going back full campus or not. And to have full, even in Chicago, but he wants to have that whole college experience. I had another child who went to college in Chicago and she had the whole experience. But with COVID, they have been shut down. So now they don't know, but yet they're trying to force me to sign a housing contract. And if they don't open by a certain date, mind you, if they don't open, I still am responsible to pay for the housing and the food plan, which comes out to about $22,000. And my son will still be doing school at home. Make that make sense? So that's what I've been doing. So after discussing things with my son and my husband, we decided definitely that my son is going to, they have a residence exemption because they're supposed to do first and second year on campus, but they do have a exemption for if you live like with a parent in the city, which we do. They have like a few other little things. So I had to fill that out today. And when I tell you, like they wanted so much stuff, I had to like take screenshots and upload it. I was like, oh, Lord, I need a drink and I'm trying not to drink.
Hey, I feel you though, because I've been really I've been trying not to either. I'm trying to get my fitness back on because I was out for a little while and man, I had to start over.
Crown Royal says, my heart goes out to Derek Chauvin. I do not think he should have been charged with murder, gross negligence the most. What do you think? I think going into it, I thought they were going to get him for manslaughter for sure. I thought manslaughter was going to definitely
at least, right?
I thought manslaughter would stick. I do not believe. I know he's going to appeal it. So I know that his attorney is going to appeal it. That I know. I don't know what's going to come out of it because if you think about it, Ricardo said voodoo time. You know what? You're right. It is voodoo time, but I'm trying to be right with my body.
Trying to be good. I feel you.
I'm trying to be right with this body. I'm trying to be slim thick, girl. You can't be drinking alcohol. So,
well, I'll be in Vegas this weekend, so no promises.
Yeah, get it, girl. Get it. But no, so I think with the and he has a way of pronouncing his name, so I'm not sure, but I say Chauvin. I think it's something else, but
no, it's Chauvin.
Someone else told me some like it's pronounced differently. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Wendy said hers is the Crown Royal apple. No, mine is the Crown Royal peach. Fire.
I like the vanilla.
I like the peach. I haven't tried the vanilla, so I do got to try it, but I do love the peach with lemonade. It's fire. He said fireball. That's Sunni shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been literally hectic. But anyways, I was exhausted and I have a sore throat and I think I have an ear infection because it's been driving me nuts the last 2 days.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, that being said, I was watching Russo and Sunni and Casey on earlier, and they were kind of talking about police stuff, and they were kind of going into some stuff. And then I jumped on, I guess, at the wrong time when Russo made a statement about he does believe that there's a certain percentage of police officers who stop people based on their color. And I was like, wait, what the?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, and I was going to put this live off, right? Because I know you had things to do, Chris had things to do. So I was like, plus I wasn't feeling great. So I was like, oh, I'll just put it off when we can all come on. And then he just gave me the energy to jump on. I was like, oh, never mind. I was like, never mind, I'm coming on. So we kind of talked about that. And I know I don't want anyone here thinking I'm putting him down, because I'm not. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and I can respect each and everybody's opinion. But I will say, I will also challenge that opinion. Just because we're friends does not mean I will not challenge it. That's all I'm saying. I love him. He knows I love him. But again, I just don't feel that in a time like now we need to send any more negative vibes out there. Does that make sense? Especially when I have walked in those shoes for 24 years. So I'm speaking based on my experiences. Anyways, that being said, I think let's have our last thoughts. I will say again, and I've said it every single time, I think that parents need to be accountable for their children. I think that parents need to rise up and start raising your children. Establish a foundation in your children so that they can grow up to be healthy and successful adults. Again, I have 2 teenage children right now. I have 3 adult children. And guess what? None of them are out there brawling with knives. And we live in the damn hood.
With all the adults around. Come on.
And none of my children are ever taken away from me or given to, made a word of the state. And again, I'm not judging people. Shit happens. I get it. But my point again is, you hear the same shit every single time, and there is no accountability. They're just going to automatically blame the police officer. He's trying to save a life. So he did what he had to do. He did what he was trained to do. Period. And one of the main facts is guess how many people die when you comply with the police? The number is less than 1%. Other things happen. There are some things that do happen, but again, comply. It is that simple. Comply. Fight it in court, even if you think that someone was treating you a certain way because of your race. See, this is. Let me ask you this really quick, John T. Shaw. See, if people are people and minority people, let's just say minorities, right? If we're so terrified of the police, right? We're so terrified because they're killing us at an unprecedented rate, right? They love to kill Black and brown people. So if that is the case, then why wouldn't I get into a traffic stop or any other situation where I have an encounter with the police? Am I going to fight them? If I'm terrified, why am I going to fight?
Right.
Do you get the point that I'm trying to make?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, like, do you get the point that I'm trying to make? Like, you're claiming that you're so terrified. You have to teach your children, hands up, don't shoot. You have to teach your babies all this stuff, right? Because you hear people saying it all the fucking time. I see it on all these shows. So again, if that is the actual case, and I just want, again, make it make sense to me. If that is the case, and you are so terrified of the police, why are you going to fight them?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're not going to comply.
Yeah, I agree. Shoot, when I get pulled over, I want to cry because I ain't trying to get no ticket. I'm like, fuck, shit. Put on the tears. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to.
We got 4 kids, we can't afford that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
None. My heart sinks like, oh no. Not because I'm scared they're gonna shoot me, not because, there's gonna be some conflict or whatever. I just don't want to get a ticket. I'm not trying to pay it. I don't want to pay it.
That's my point.
If you're that fearful, you would obey the police. You wouldn't be confrontational. Anyone who's scared of someone, like, look at it. What?
No, go ahead. My bad.
Well, yeah, it's not your turn. You had your turn.
No, I got.
This guy.
Okay, hold on. No, because then I gotta go eat. All right. Don't judge my hair either. I took my hat off.
Honestly, Danny got hella hair.
Yeah, it grew fast. 100%. Whoever that last person was, if they were so fearful of the police, if you were scared, then when they pulled that lieutenant over from the army and they told him, put your hands out the window. Wait, they would never have to say that because he would have been like, hey,
yeah,
like this, I'm good. They ain't scared. That's all I want to say.
And that's a psychology thing too. That's psychological, and it's a history. If you notice, like wives or spouses who are afraid of their spouse, children who are afraid of their parents, people who are afraid of their bullies. Like if you think about that, like there's no fight in them. There's flight in them or freeze. There's not, I'm gonna fight you. There's like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like there's none of that if they're so afraid of that. Instead, it's a challenge and they're welcoming it so that they can act a fool.
They're taught. So I hate this. If you're not black, you never had to have the conversation with your kids that they got to be careful when they go outside because they're black. No, if you live in a neighborhood where your kids got to go outside and be fearful because they're black, it probably has nothing to do with the police. It's probably because you live in some shithole city that, I don't know, you got to be fearful of other fucking people that are probably black or brown. Like, that's the truth. It's dumb. And then they got to teach them, like, oh, you got to be careful driving while black. You never hear anybody talk about driving while brown. No, because we don't say stupid shit like that. But they teach their kids this ignorant shit, and then they're telling you, oh, then we also got to teach them to hands up, don't shoot. No, you're not teaching them anything. You're teaching them to be afraid of the cops, and you're putting in their head that every cop that they interact with is going to take their life. And if you really taught them hands up, don't shoot, they will stop running and resisting arrest. No, you're just saying that, but really at home, you're letting them listen to rap music, talk about fuck the police, we'll put two in them. Done. Gotta eat.
Mic drop.
That's what I picture too. I'm like, show off.
Mic drop. That was Chris. Chris just did a mic drop on us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Period.
I apologize for my foul mouth. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cuss.
Yes, you did. Anyways,
It's all right. I cuss all the time.
moving on. The end.
Trying to stop.
But yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I didn't get to say my little piece about the 16-year-old and the knife and the stabbing and the cop and all that stuff. Like, there were hella adults and other kids standing around while that event was ensuing, while the bullying was happening. And I'm just saying, like, if that was my kid and my daughter was getting bullied by some girls coming to the house, because that's what it looked like. Someone pulled up to the house and they got out and they were having some kind of confrontation, my ass would be outside the house talking about what is going on today. This is not going to happen. Where are your parents? Ooh, Shelly froze. Oh, there you are. Okay. You froze for a second. I was like, ooh.
I was just like this.
No, yeah. And it was, okay, anyways. So squirrel, I would be outside asking what is going on and why are you here and where's your parents? Like, why are you at my house? What's going on? Let's talk about this. Like, I would be out there. I've been in that situation. I was home and 3 girls came to my house. They knocked on my door and they're like, hey, come to the park with us so we could fight you. Like, what? So you can jump me? No, we're going to fight you one-on-one. We'll just wait while they fight you, and then after I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Every person right before they jump your ass.
Excuse my language, but I'm like, yo, I was by myself. I had to think smart at the time and not be like, oh yeah, I could take them. Like, who does that? And my point is, there were adults there. The guy that I'm assuming that's either her father or it's her guardian, right? He was out there.
She actually is a ward of the state.
Right. No, that's what I mean.
I was in front of a girl's home or something like that. Like there are these people that were fighting, these girls that were fighting, they were like in a group home or some shit.
Oh, they lived together.
Yeah, I believe that's what the story said. They're in a group home and they were fighting against each other.
Okay, so roommates were fighting with each other, roommates / whatever, fighting with each other, right? Number one. Number two, the guardians of that house, I'm assuming that's who they were outside when this was happening. They were bullying her. Like, you live together. Like, shouldn't you have put a stop to this a long ass time ago if that was the case? They're under your roof. Like, you're the guardians of these people, these are your stewards. And my mind was just like, what? How? And then if you are calling the cops, why would you pull a knife out when there's adults here that should be monitoring what's going on between these kids, but yet everybody's like, it's the cops' fault. Why though? It's the guardian's fault and it's the kids' fault. Period. The cop came, and this, from what I understand from that video, from what I understand, they were saying that they got a call that someone was attacking them with a knife. So when he pulled up, she attacked the girl with a knife. So it would have been okay because everybody's pissed off that the cop shot her. So in my mind, if I'm understanding this right, so basically you're saying it would have been okay if the young black woman stabbed the other young black woman. That would have been fine as long as the white officer or the light-skinned officer didn't shoot either one of them. Or he's still wrong because he didn't shoot either one of them. So there's so much wrong here that adults think that kids, allowing children to make their own decisions when they don't know what they want, when they don't even know who they are, they don't know what's what, they think they know everything, but they don't know shit. Excuse my language. I was 16. I didn't know shit. I thought I did. I mean, I knew some things. I didn't know everything. I didn't make the wisest choices when I was a damn teenager. I didn't make the best choices when I was in my 20s. I was in a car accident when I was, how old was I? 24. I was 24 and I got a car accident because I was drunk. I'm just saying, parents, step the F up and be parents. You are stewards. You are these are your stewards. Like, you are stewarding these children to raise them up to be functional, proper, positive people in a society that needs them functioning properly. Parents need to stand up. And I'm not saying it's all of their fault, but it definitely is not a 16-year-old's 100% fault. Like, what are you thinking? Yes, but they're still learning. And there's an adult right there to help them. And yes, are they going to make their own choices? Yes, I understand that. But that's why it's a mutual responsibility and accountability that needs to be had, period. On top of the fact that everyone, like I said before, I talked about it earlier, it's positivity, love, light, and understanding, because Jesus is our example. And they're not being good examples for their kids.
So someone just asked if they said the race of the officer. So they've released his name now. LeBron James decided to release this because, he's so relevant. This is the officer. He is obviously white. So
Your Nets with a
Yeah.
with the, what is that called? The little time thing? Can't remember.
Yeah, it's
Accountability.
Mhm.
Hey, this goes back to that. What they're saying is 1 for 1.
Yep,
Right.
that's exactly what you're saying.
Hey, real quick. So,
Again.
because last year in June, does anybody out there know who Sean Monterosa is? I bet not. He was from San Francisco. He got killed in Vallejo for looting. There was like an outcry for like, I don't know, a week or so. But he died because he was looting after they rioted in Vallejo, was looting a Walgreens. He had a hammer and he pulled the hammer out of his pants. They thought it was a gun. They shot him. The Hispanic community was a little upset, but then when you look at the report, like people were, it was a dumb choice. Like it died down quickly. Why? Because it gets to people like me and you're like, well, it sucks. He should, you know, that he died, but he had a hammer in his pants and it looked like a gun when he was pulling it out. And shit happens. But then you see stuff. It's always the black community. But then in the black community, like I don't think the Adam Toledo thing is going to last very long. That's just me. Maybe another week and then we won't even know who Adam Toledo is. Because it's not about brown people. They try to drag us into it. Because they know the thing that's going to keep selling is white on black crime. Even though Derek Chauvin's case they never brought up race, everybody else, to include the president, said it was racially driven. But there was nothing in that case, in that courtroom, that had to do with race. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, listening to the president and the vice president, I thought the only thing that popped into my head was hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
You like both of y'all racist ass. And yes, people say, oh, because she's black, she can't be racist. She's fucking racist. She's fucking racist. She locked up so many people of black and brown color and gave zero fucks. The funniest thing is a lot of brown and black people voted for that. They voted for that accident, that fucking disgrace.
Hey, she did in California. She did what the white farm owners that are Republicans do to the immigrants. She did that to black and brown people. She put them in jail because they were, I don't know, what did she say? Cheap labor?
Yep.
But the difference between her and these farm owners is that at least at the end of their workday, their farm owner lets them go free and pays them. She kept them because she wanted the cheap labor. And people they're cool with it. They just let her because she's black. Even though she's like Indian, from India, like that's where her mom's from. We don't ever talk about it. It's just because she's a black woman.
Right. And as far as somebody asked about Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters is a train wreck as well. They're all train wrecks. AOC is a train wreck. I don't want to even waste my time or breath on her. Everybody knows I've not spoken on her for a long time because she's been pretty silent. And I wish she would go back under the rock that she came out from. Because every time she opens her fucking mouth, I want to throw punch her ass. She never says anything intelligent whatsoever, ever. She panders and panders and panders. She blamed fucking the environmental shit on racism.
The Green New Deal.
She blamed it on
Green Deal.
Yeah. Well, you know how she talks about the environment and all this. It wasn't so much the Green New Deal, but it was what do you call it? Global warming, blah blah blah. It's all on it's because it's racist.
The industrial areas being in low poverty areas that are usually people of color.
Yeah.
That shit too.
Who said that?
Yeah.
AOC.
I was going to say AOC said that, but Maxine Waters said it too. Yeah, AOC said. She also was talking about the big migration that's coming over on the border or whatever. That it's not. And she said anyway. She said it was global warming because America all their pollutants is a majority of the world's pollutants and it's going over to their area and causing all these disasters, and that's why they're coming over here because they're less fortunate, and that's why they're coming over here. But they're not insurgents because there's not a surge.
You can't make this shit up. I'm telling you.
And
you guys,
that's dumb, but she's a genius because dumb people are going to hear that and be like, "That makes so much sense."
100%. 100%.
So yeah, I'm just literally, Rashida Tlaib, that whole squad, they should all be in jail, to be honest. I think they should all be in jail for inciting the shit that they incite, for spewing the hate in our country. Like, what's her name? I say her name wrong every time. Omar. What's her name? Ilhan Omar, something. Ilhan. See? There you go. So Ilhan, her too. She talks about America being all these things. And I'm like, you escaped Syria.
No. Somalia.
Somalia. Sorry. Thanks, Chris. Yeah,
I was like, she's definitely not Syrian.
Well, you escaped Somalia, come here for a better life, and now all you do is fucking drag America. You know what I think? Go back. Go back.
She's Muslim, and the way she acts, they fucking kill her.
That's right. But she's gonna sit here and drag America. I just can't. And she said, yeah, it was climate change. Thank you. Climate change. That's exactly what she was talking about. But yeah, I don't want to waste any more breath on her because I swear she just makes my blood boil. Especially when I see like Hispanics, like, oh, she's representing Puerto Ricans. No, the fuck, she ain't representing me.
Right. Women is empowerment and whatever. I'm like, oh, no, I don't identify with them. Hell no.
Same.
You keep them. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Lord,
she's the one that married her brother. She is. Ilhan Omar. She did marry her brother. And he got like some good money too. So, but they don't talk about any of that. So,
yeah, I can't stand with people who intentionally cause division on such a high extreme level for things that are not correct.
I agree. But anyways, we are going to wrap this up because we have been on for a very long time, and we could probably talk about the squad forever, to be honest.
Let's not.
But yeah, let's definitely not today anyways. So we will be back sometime this week. As soon as we have all the footage and more info on the North Carolina shooting, we will come to you and we will give you our opinions on it. We'll play it for you, kind of take in your thoughts, see what you think, and we'll give you all our thoughts. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go over and like and subscribe our YouTube channel. We would greatly appreciate it. And I will let this out. Be ready because we are going to come out with some t-shirts.
Yeah.
So look, get ready for that. It's going to be coming. It is going to be happening soon. We are trying to work it out, but that will be coming out soon. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for spending your evening with us. And again, thank you for all the warm wishes and all the messages. I appreciate you. My husband appreciates you very deeply. Anyways, on that note, you guys have an amazing night, and we will see you guys